Morning, everyone. Maxime Bernier is tweeting, quote, another UN corruption scandal. Why are we sending Canadian taxpayers' hard-earned money to this dysfunctional organization? And he's responding to this tweet, breaking, Swiss frees funding to UNRWA, the UN relief agency for Palestinians, amid claims of sexual misconduct, nepotism, and corruption by Chief Pierre Krahenbuhl and co. Will top donors EU, UK, Germany, Sweden, Norway, and Canada follow? Why are they silent? Well, I'm glad Mr. Bernier's not silent. He's unequivocally saying, yeah, let's stop sending our taxpayer dollars. And I'm going to show you, I think this is 2019 numbers. I'll show you 2018 numbers as well. Here's Phil V, and he's tweeting, why is 27 million of our taxes funding the corruption of the UNRWA when other countries are stopping funding for this UN agency? And here's the original tweet that was referenced in Bernier's tweet. And here's the article. And it says, Swiss suspend payments to Palestinian Refugee Agency. The Swiss Foreign Ministry has decided to temporarily stop payments to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, amid claims of misconduct among its top management. The ministry was informed of the situation by the agency's Commissioner General, Pierre Krahenbuhl, on Monday, according to SRF Public Radio. A confidential report by UNRWA's ethics office claims that members of top management have abused their authority with charges including nepotism, discrimination, and sexual misconduct. The report alleges that Krahenbuhl claimed daily allowances despite being away from the UNRWA headquarters in Jerusalem. Krahenbuhl, a Swiss national, has been at the UNRWA since 2014, has apparently pledged full cooperation with the investigating authorities. Switzerland has been a member of the agency since its beginning in 1949 and has paid about CHF 20 million. It's got 20 million in brackets. I don't know if that means American dollar, like American currency, or just 20 million to clarify what that these numbers indicate currency, or that these letters indicate currency. But anyway, it doesn't matter. 20 million in contributions this year. I mean, it does matter, but I don't know. So carry on. The agency has already been under the intense pressure since one of its main supporters, the United States, cut funding drastically last year. We're also going to look at that. Back to the article. The Swiss Foreign Minister, Ignacio Cassis, has also publicly criticized the role of the UNRWA. The agency has an annual budget, 1.2 billion, to support more than 5 million Palestinian refugees in Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Gaza, and the West Bank. And I did some math really quick because I wanted to know how much that was. 1.2 billion, 9 zeros, right? And divided by 5 million, that's about 240 per person. I thought it would be more than that, but there you go. Math. And so they've cut the funding amid other cuts. Here's something that was run in the same newspaper, and I believe swissinfo.ch is reputable. They're at the top of Google, but I don't know. I don't know Swiss media, so who knows? This could be a lefty or a righty. I don't know, but anyway, it seems reputable to me. They were reporting in January, Middle East education payments funding terrorist propaganda. And it says Switzerland is looking into reports that foreign aid payments are being used to glamorize Palestinian terrorists in Middle East schools. The complaints center around the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, UNRWA, which has been criticized in the past by the Swiss foreign minister. I'm not going to look at that, or I can't say that. The newspaper has unearthed evidence that the UNRWA money-directed educational project is funding school material that praises so-called Islamic martyrs. Switzerland is one of the largest contributors to the UNRWA, giving some CF 27 million, 27.4 million. Again, no indication of if it's United States currency or their currency, but I'm assuming it's theirs. To the agency last year. It is headed by Swiss national Pierre Krahenbuhl. So that's interesting. Here is a report from 2018. This is 4 days after Thanksgiving. Well, this reported a couple of days after that, but the 15th, but it happened on the Friday on the 12th, I believe. It says Canada giving 50 million to UNRWA after Trump White House pulls funding. Canada is contributing 50 million to the United Nations Palestine Refugee Agency after the United States decided to stop funding what it called an irredeemably flawed organization. The new Canadian funds announced today will be allocated over 2 years to assist the health and education efforts of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, or the UNRWA. The Trump administration decided in August to withdraw $300 million in US dollars in support, ending the United States' status as the largest donor for an organization that has been trying to help more than 5 million Palestinian refugees. So I understand now where the 27 million comes from. Over 50 million over 2 years. Well, it's 25 million, so I'm not sure where the extra 2 comes from. It's interesting, right? interesting, the different reports. Anyway, if you want to do some reading on the UNRWA, I've got the Wikipedia link in the description. Understand that Wikipedia is as biased as the rest of the internet, so just be aware, check the sources, etc. But I'm not going to read anything from here, but I find all of this interesting. Are people okay with our tax dollars going to agencies like this with absolutely no success metrics at all? What was the $50 million for exactly? What were we spending and what were we expecting to get back? Expecting to get back a good feeling because we helped some people? Did we help them? In what way? What were we trying to do? Measurable. It's got to be measurable, right? We're going to do X, and a success metric is Y. If we see Y, we have succeeded. If we do not see Y, or here, even better, here is a definition of a failure metric, and if we see this metric, we're not going to do that again. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Why does our government not run this way? Like, when I'm planning, and I'm going back to a previous career, but if I'm planning to work with a student, if I don't have success metrics or failure metrics for whatever program I'm trying to come up with, then I haven't done my job right. So why are we sending out $50 million just willy-nilly to this apparently very corrupt agency that uses it for sexual misconduct and nepotism and corruption? It doesn't make any sense to me. I would say that would be a failure metric for me, right? Man, you'd think some of our leadership would be speaking up, but maybe this is a scandal Mr. Trudeau doesn't want to talk about because, there's an election coming up. Speaking of Mr. Trudeau, I've got my next video on some unfortunate, some really, really bad dodges that Mr. Trudeau did in front of the cameras. So we're going to watch that. Check it out. But right now, thank you for watching. Check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca and have a wonderful, wonderful day.